Hey folks, so I wish you could see how I'm recording this. This setup's kind of ridiculous, but what I'm going to talk about, once you have something cut, you're going to need 2 tools primarily to get it out, really 3 if you count a pair of scissors. You might need to cut your sticker out of like a larger batch set. So say you've cut out your sticker, you're left with this. Now, you're not really going to be able to see it well on the camera, but you'll see me expose it in a second. We have to do our first step after you get it off, which is weeding. Now, I've done weeding already on this. I had a bounding box around these 2 icons, so I did some major weeding. I tore away that vinyl and threw it out. Now, what I'm going to show you is, since this one has lost a piece, it's just been sitting around for a while, I'm going to show you how to weed this one right here. So there's 2 ways you can do this. One is with some tweezers, another is with an X-Acto blade, which typically store it with the blade in. I'm gonna take it out and then reset it so it's out. Just be careful with these because they tend to be pretty sharp. Another way you can weed is just with your fingers. So what we can try doing is with my fingernail, I can try peeling up. Our biggest issue here though is I'm starting to peel up some of this. Now, what we're gonna see, because I cut this last year, is whether or not the vinyl cutter did its job and cut all the way through. So I'm gonna try weeding a little bit.
And if stuff's coming up, what you can actually do is poke it down with your X-Acto blade. Now this is a fairly complex shape, so I'm gonna have to do it pretty slow and carefully. And I think I'm gonna do a time lapse of this, just so you don't have to wait. So I'll see you in.
Y'all could see that took like a fairly long amount of time and a good amount of effort. I have a feeling last year when I made this, or whoever made this, maybe it's from the year before, we had a dull blade or we weren't going heavy enough on the pen force. There's a couple details that are missing. I don't really care too much about them now. But yeah, the X-Acto blade, you gotta be really careful. Sometimes some finer needle nose, even more than what I have here in front of us right now. These little tweezers, you might need something a little finer. I have them if you need them. The next step is for us to get some of our transfer paper. I'm not going to show you this step because I don't want to waste too much of this, but this is that good transfer paper roll. Think of it as just like a masking tape. Actually, I'll show you. Why not? It's not that much material. If I chop off a little like square of this material and then I grab it off of there, try to keep the edge as nice as you can because we may want to use this for a larger sheet. You have your transfer paper, and now the roll's rolling right into the frame. What you need to do is you need to place it down. Now there's multiple types of transfer paper. This one again just looks like masking tape. You put it on there and then you kind of want to just burnish it on there. I like using the back end of a scraper. This is a scraper right here. I use the wood inside and I just burnish it. I rub the material against it. And then what this does is it has adhesive on it. Again, it's kind of like tape, and it will actually adhere to the vinyl. And I'll show you what that looks like in a second. Some other transfer papers, they have crosshairs like this. I have some that's like a deep red, not like an orange like this. This is actually the back of some older vinyl. Like this vinyl right here. But some transfer papers have that same grid on it. It helps you if you really need to be precise where you're placing your sticker. So again, you are weeding and then you apply transfer paper. This is another weeded vinyl decal. This is a much better way to do the Norseman logo. It's much bigger, it'll be easier to weed. That's way small. You could see how much trouble I went through there. So I'm gonna close this just to put it away. And what I want to show you briefly is just how you can set up your vinyl to put it onto something. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this and cut it. And once I cut it like so, you are left with your vinyl decal. Now, how would you go ahead and put this on something? Well,
I need to find something to put it on, I guess. Let's say I want to put it on this tape measure. What I can do is burnish one last time. Make sure that stick is really on there. Hopefully it picks up most of the stuff, but we'll see how well the vinyl adhesive is doing. And you can start to peel, and if it doesn't come up, then you just gotta keep burnishing it. Sometimes this paper goes bad, so you might need to cut another piece of transfer paper, but we'll see how far we can get. This stuff looks like it's really on there. Again, finer design.
Well, maybe 30 seconds later, I've given up. I've like torched this design. It's just too fine and it's sticking too much to its backing paper. This may have been peeled up and kind of dried out a little bit. So we're gonna forget about that and its existence. And we're gonna take a look at this other design that I've just backed real quick. This one, much simpler. The backing paper is this paper. Again, the transfer paper is this gray overlay paper. And if it's burnished properly, we should be able to peel it and transfer it to something. Unfortunately, this failed. We'll forget about it for now. You should ideally be able to peel. If I can get it to peel. Just full of big fails today. We should be able to start to get it to transfer. Now, I don't need to transfer this to anything right now, but you may end up with pieces that don't fully transfer and you just need to back it up and restart and back it up and restart. And eventually you'll start getting everything. So I don't need to put this on anything right now. I don't want to put it on this good old Stanley ruler because it's too big, but you get the point now. Once everything's cut and you've weeded, you put on transfer paper and then you can get it to wherever you need it to go. That's it.